"Get off my property," I shouted as Rachel, our power-hungry HOA president, stood smugly on my family's farmhouse porch surrounded by construction equipment and workers. "It's not your property anymore," she smirked, waving official-looking documents in my face. "Your farm belongs to Meadow Ridge HOA." Now my children watched from our car, tears streaming down their faces after our dream Hawaiian vacation had turned into a nightmare. Rachel had no idea she'd just walked into the perfect legal trap. I'd spent years preparing for this exact moment. Let me back up. I'm Thomas Edwards, fourth-generation owner of an 800-acre farm that's been in my family since 1923. For years, Rachel Harris had been trying to force us into her precious HOA, claiming our eyesore farm was hurting property values in her luxury development. Before leaving for our first family vacation in 15 years, I took one last look at our golden wheat fields. "The HOA can't touch us while we're gone, right?" my wife, Jessica, asked nervously. "Don't worry," I assured her. "We're grandfathered in." What Rachel didn't know was that I'd been documenting her every move, setting up security cameras and filing specific legal paperwork that would soon destroy her entire scheme and send her to federal prison. Rachel Harris moved to the area 5 years ago, quickly forming an HOA for the luxury development that sprouted on Old Man Davis's former cattle ranch, which bordered our property. From day one, she made it her mission to absorb our farm into her kingdom. It started with friendly invitations to join the association. When I declined, citing our agricultural exemption, her smile hardened. "Your farm hurts property values, Mr. Edwards. Homebuyers don't want to smell manure while enjoying their morning coffee." I showed her the door, but Rachel wasn't finished. 3 months later, I discovered survey stakes with Meadow Ridge flags along our eastern boundary 30 feet into my property. "Simple surveying error," she claimed when confronted, but her eyes told a different story. That night, I called my college roommate, Ethan, now a property rights attorney. "Document everything," he advised. "Every interaction, every trespass. Get security cameras." Rachel's type plays the long game. The next spring, Rachel escalated by filing a noise complaint about our harvesting equipment. I watched from my tractor as she led the county inspector around, pointing dramatically at our fields. The complaint was dismissed, but a pattern was emerging. "We need to prepare," I told Jessica that night. My grandfather's journals mentioned developers trying this same tactic in the 1960s, waiting until the family left, then moving in. We spent the next year fortifying our legal position. Ethan helped us verify every property document, boundary line, and agricultural exemption. We installed security cameras at strategic points, especially along the boundaries with Meadow Ridge. I kept meticulous records of every HOA letter and every accidental trespass. Then came the water dispute. Rachel claimed our irrigation was causing flooding in Meadow Ridge's basement. When the water commissioner found that their developer had actually built on a natural drainage path, Rachel stormed onto our property. "This isn't over, Edwards," she hissed, close enough I could smell her expensive perfume. "Your kind doesn't belong here anymore. This land is meant for progress." The confrontation happened in view of our newly installed camera. Ethan was thrilled when I sent him the footage. "Perfect documentation of harassment," he said. "Keep building the file." 6 months before our vacation, Rachel showed up at a town meeting with architectural plans for Meadow Ridge East. She called it 45 luxury homes on land that looked suspiciously like our eastern field. When I objected, she smiled sweetly. "Oh, this is just conceptual for future planning," she said, but I noticed Commissioner Adams nodding enthusiastically from the council table. Later, I overheard them in the parking lot. "How long until we can move forward?" Adams asked. "We need the right moment," Rachel replied. "When the Edwards aren't watching." I texted Ethan immediately. "They're planning something big." His response, "Operation Ironclad is ready. All documents filed with state and federal offices. Not just county. Security system primed. Take your vacation. Let's see what they do." The trip to Hawaii was Jessica's dream 2 weeks of paradise after 15 years of backbreaking farm work. As our departure date approached, strange cars began driving slowly past our property. Rachel appeared at the local hardware store, suddenly friendly again. "I heard you're finally taking a vacation. How wonderful. Don't worry about a thing while you're gone," she said, her gleaming smile sending a chill down my spine. The night before our flight, I checked every camera and sensor. I called my brother Luke, who would be checking on things if Rachel or anyone from the HOA showed up. Call Ethan immediately. Don't confront them. Just document everything. You really think they'd try something? Luke asked. I remembered my grandfather's journal entry from 1968. Always plan for the worst from those who want your land. They mistake farmers for simple folk, not realizing we've been outthinking predators human and animal for generations. Yes, I replied, and we'll be ready when they do. The Hawaiian sun was intoxicating. For the first time in years, I watched my children laugh without the weight of farm responsibilities. Jessica's shoulders finally relaxed as she swam with sea turtles. For brief moments, I almost forgot about Rachel and her schemes. Then came the text from Luke. Day 12 of our vacation. They're here. Vehicles, construction equipment. Rachel brought someone in a sheriff's uniform. Mom and Dad are worried. What do I do? Follow the plan. I texted back. Call Ethan. Don't engage. Document everything. I didn't tell Jessica until the next day. No need to ruin our last moments of peace. As our plane lifted off from Honolulu, Richard's message arrived. Trap is set. They took the bait. Court time, 9 a.m. Tomorrow. Operation Ironclad is a go. Our return flight landed late in the evening. The kids were exhausted, Jessica scrolling through vacation photos on her phone as we turned onto our gravel driveway. My heart stopped. The security gate wasn't just unlocked. It was completely removed from its hinges. Strange cars lined the drive, floodlights illuminating our farmhouse. I accelerated up the drive, gravel spitting beneath our tires. Construction equipment surrounded our home. Men in hard hats moved about with flashlights. A large sign near our porch proclaimed, future site of Meadow Ridge East, 45 luxury homes starting at $750,000. Michael, what's happening? Jessica gasped as the kids stirred in the back seat, sensing our panic. I parked hastily and sprinted toward a group examining blueprints spread across a truck hood. What the hell is going on? This is private property. Sir, you can't be here, said a man in an expensive suit. This is an active construction site. This is my farm, I shouted, pulling out my ID. This land has been in my family for 4 generations. He looked uncomfortable. You'll need to speak with MS Harris. There's been a change of ownership. The farmhouse door swung open, and Rachel descended the porch steps like a queen surveying her new kingdom. Her designer outfit was impeccable, despite the late hour. Well, she said, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. The Edwards return. I was hoping to have more progress before you got back. She handed me a thick envelope. Everything's perfectly legal. Your property has been incorporated into Meadow Ridge HOA through our community expansion provision. Since you failed to respond to multiple notifications and missed the community vote, the default decision applied. Inside were official-looking documents stamped and notarized. This is impossible, I said hoarsely. We're exempt. The farm predates your development by almost a century. Rachel's smile widened. Laws change, Mr. Edwards. The county commissioner approved our petition last week. Where are my parents, my brother, our farm hands? I asked. They left this morning, she said. Quite understanding, once the sheriff explained the situation. When I tried to push past her toward our house, Rachel shoved me backward hard. I stumbled, nearly falling. You're trespassing on HOA property now, she threatened. Don't make me call the sheriff. My children watched wide-eyed from the car, my 10-year-old son's face streaked with tears. I backed away, pointing at Rachel. This isn't over. It is, actually, she replied coldly. You have 48 hours to remove personal belongings before demolition begins. That night, in a cramped hotel room, I watched my devastated family try to sleep. When they finally drifted off, I opened my laptop and typed a single email. Operation Ironclad is a go. The response came within minutes. Trap set. Documents ready. Court time, 9 a.m. Tomorrow. For the first time since seeing those construction vehicles on our farm, I smiled. Rachel was about to learn a very expensive lesson about messing with a 4th-generation farmer. At 6 a.m., I slipped out while my family slept. I met Ethan at a small diner near the county courthouse. My former college roommate slid a thick folder across the table. You look terrible, he said. But you're about to feel a whole lot better. I opened the folder to find property deeds, land surveys, and historical documents dating back to the 1920s. You were right to be paranoid, Ethan said. The day Rachel became HOA president, we started Operation Ironclad. Every document, every boundary, every historical claim to your property all verified, notarized, and filed with state and federal offices, not just county. He tapped the folder meaningfully. What they've done is completely illegal. Rachel's documents are based on falsified property lines and misrepresentation of zoning laws. But she mentioned Judge Harris and Commissioner Adams are on her side, I said. Ethan's smile was wolfish. That's the beauty of this. They might be on her HOA board, but they'll be committing federal crimes if they knowingly approve these false documents. And we have proof they knew. He showed me an email chain on his phone. Your security cameras caught everything. Rachel and Adams physically marking false property boundaries. We've documented 17 separate federal violations, he added. What about my family? My parents? The sheriff who came wasn't real. Just someone in costume from Rachel's security company. Your family wasn't legally evicted. They were scared off by people impersonating law enforcement. Another federal crime. My anger surged. She impersonated law enforcement? Ethan nodded grimly. Rachel got greedy and sloppy. She thought you'd be too devastated to fight back. She didn't expect us to be ready. We entered the courthouse, and I spotted Rachel arriving with 3 lawyers in expensive suits. She faltered mid-step when she saw me, clearly not expecting me to look confident rather than broken. Inside Judge Landry's courtroom, the no-nonsense woman in her 60s called the session to order precisely at 9 a.m. This is an emergency hearing regarding property dispute case number 2023 CV 4287 Edwards versus Meadow Ridge Homeowners Association, she announced. I understand there are allegations of fraud, trespassing, and improper seizure of property. For the next hour, Ethan methodically laid out our case, showing the original property deeds, historical surveys, and continuous agricultural use that exempted our farm from zoning changes. Then came the security footage. Clear video showed Rachel and her cronies removing our gate, entering our property with construction equipment, and most damning, Commissioner Adams physically hammering new boundary markers while consulting falsified documents. The courtroom murmured as the videos played. I saw Jessica arrive with the children, slipping into seats near the back. Our son's eyes widened as he recognized Rachel trespassing on our property. The most explosive evidence came last. An audio recording capturing Rachel and Commissioner Adams discussing how to falsify documents and fast-track them through the system while we were away. The Edwards will never know what hit them, Rachel's voice rang clearly. By the time they get back from Hawaii, we'll have bulldozed that eyesore of a farmhouse and broken ground on Phase 1. Judge Landry's expression grew increasingly grave as Richard finished. She turned to Rachel's attorneys. Counselors, I've seen enough to issue an immediate temporary restraining order against your clients. All construction activity on the Edwards property must cease immediately. Rachel stood up, her face contorted with anger. Your Honor, this is outrageous. We have permits. We have approval from Commissioner Adams and Judge Harris. Judge Landry's gaze could have frozen fire. Ms. Harris, I strongly advise you to remain silent. Based on the evidence presented, you may be facing federal charges for fraud, falsifying official documents, and impersonating law enforcement officers. Bailiff, please ensure Ms. Harris remains in the courtroom after we adjourn. The FBI will want to speak with her. The color drained from Rachel's face as she sank back into her seat. Her lawyers huddled around her, whispering urgently. I am issuing an emergency order returning full property rights to the Edwards family, effective immediately, Judge Landry continued. Furthermore, I'm ordering a full investigation into the actions of the Meadow Ridge HOA, Commissioner Adams, and Judge Harris. The gavel came down with finality. Jessica and the kids rushed forward to embrace me. Over my wife's shoulder, I watched as 2 men in dark suits approached Rachel FBI agents, just as the judge had promised. Ethan clapped me on the back. Phase 1 complete. Ready for Phase 2. I nodded, watching Rachel being escorted from the courtroom, her perfect ponytail now askew, her confident demeanor shattered. Absolutely. She messed with the wrong farmer. The FBI investigation revealed Rachel had pulled this same stunt in 2 other counties. She would move in, establish an HOA, then gradually absorb surrounding properties through intimidation and document fraud. She now faced multiple federal charges. Commissioner Adams was removed from office. Judge Harris cooperated with authorities, claiming he'd been misled about the documents he'd signed. Rachel received a 10-year federal sentence for fraud, document falsification, and impersonating law enforcement. The Meadow Ridge HOA was placed under court supervision while a complete audit was conducted. As for us, we received full restoration of our property rights, substantial damages to repair our land, and a permanent injunction preventing any HOA from attempting to incorporate our farm in the future. 6 months later, I received a certified letter from the federal prison where Rachel was serving her sentence. Inside was a handwritten note. "You knew all along, didn't you? You set a trap, and I walked right into it." "How?" I never responded. Some family secrets are worth keeping, like how my great-grandfather had faced a similar attempt to seize our land in the 1930s. Or that my grandfather had left detailed journals explaining exactly how to protect our property. Rachel had seen our family as simple farmers, easy targets. She never realized that behind our weathered hands and muddy boots was a family that had been protecting its legacy for generations. Today, our farm is thriving. The East Field, where Rachel had planned luxury homes, now produces organic wheat we sell to local bakeries. We've added educational tours for school children about sustainable agriculture. Each evening, I walk our property line with my 10-year-old Sona, habit my grandfather instilled in me. "Dad, why do we keep all those old papers in the fireproof safe?" he asked as we watched the sunset over our western field. I ruffled his hair, thinking of Rachel in her prison cell, of the HOA that tried to swallow our farm, and of my grandfather's wisdom that had saved us all. "Because, son," I replied, "good farmers don't just prepare for next season's weather. They prepare for next generation's battles." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more unbelievable HOA stories. Comment below with your own HOA experiences.